Hey guys, it's Nick. Thanks for tuning into Long On Wargaming and this brief video on how I put together a quick display board for Brawlers Bash. And this is a thick piece of cardboard. It's pretty thick. I don't know how much it costs. I found it. It's cheap if you go if you go to a craft store or a home improvement store. But this is what I got. These are 5 blocks of insulation foam. And what I did with them, you can see all the way over the right, I cut up like a weird stone shard looking thing. So you can see I started with squares, used band saws and cut all funky angles. And here's a close-up shot of one. So you can see there's just some edges, which will be great when I dry brush it. Here I am making another one. You can see I just have about 4 or 5 sides that I cut with the bandsaw, and then I used a sander to kind of make it get some more shape to it. So I know that this is not an easy thing to store with pieces coming up like this, so what I did was I cut up some of my magnetic sheet, a little piece of square, put it on the bottom, and then what I also did was take another piece and then put it the adhesive side face down, and then made it so it locks in place with this piece, and now the entire piece is magnetizable to the board. So I didn't take the adhesive off yet, but I start to map out where my pieces are going to go. These are pieces of cork board. They are really easy to use. You just kind of break them up and put them down so it's going to look like shattered earth. Here is a final idea of where it's all going to go. And now what I'm going to do is kind of do a little traced outline of where all these pieces are. This way, once I put some glue down, I'll still have an idea of where to put them. And then you can see I also took the magnetized weird stone shards or warp stone shards and put them to the side also. Took some Elmer's glue or school glue and put it all over the thing. It kind of looks like one of those Pop-Tarts or toaster strudels or whatever. From there, I took a little paintbrush thing and then spread out the glue all over the place. I avoided getting any glue onto the magnetic sheet. From there, I took all of my pieces of corkboard and put it back on the glue. I tried not to, move the pieces at all because then the glue gets all funky and messy. But so here it is with the glue still on the surface. I have a bag of sand. This is a 50-pound bag of sand that cost me like $3. So this is going to be sand that now what I'm going to do is pour all over the glue. Here's also a handful of rocks that I'm going to use. What I'm going to do with these things is put them in and then paint them like little warpstone shards. So I go ahead and put these rocks down first. So I scatter them about. Then I take a cup of sand and fill in all the gaps. I put a box beneath me. This way the sand falls into the box and not all over the floor. So we will jump into some painting. I don't have a picture of this, but at this point I have primed the board black and then I used gray spray paint and sporadically just sprayed all over. I didn't go for a full gray coat, so you can see some of the areas are darker than others. And then I did like a darkish dry brush color of like a brown or a tan on the lower earth. And then these big warpstone shards, I spray painted black and then I gave them a dark green color. And then I did a dry brush of a light goblin green kind of color, and it will bring out the edges, which is really cool. I might do another dry brush of an even lighter green, but right now I'm tight on time, so this will probably be what it looks like. I also do the same to these rocks, dark green, and then the goblin green. And I took some liberties of just doing it real quickly here, which is fine because there's that source lighting effect, so it looks like the area around it is green from the warpstone. And here we go. We have the board spray painted up, a little bit of dry brush on the sand, and then those big shards and the little stones without the board. Here's a close-up of these 3 shards. Looking pretty cool. And here are the other 2 for the back right corner. And then the final touch is just adding some flock onto the board. It's not a big deal. It doesn't look that great, but you know what? This is a small board, so once I get my Skaven units on it, you're not going to really see too much, but it does add some contrast and color. But here is a quick display board that I made in like an hour and a half. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and see you in the next video.